show, you're going to have a show called Black as Fuck with 7. with 7 non-melanated people. The disrespect. Hello all, welcome to another episode of Tea Talks with Tay. I am your host, Taylor Hill, and I'm going to go ahead and tell you now. The tea we sipping on today is it is 13% potent. And really, I am pouring this up because it has been a long yet great, amazing week because I have officially finished my undergraduate. I've completed all of my assignments, okay? And the only thing I'm waiting on now is for senior grades to be finalized. So your girl is done with her undergraduate degree. So look, I just went on and bought me this very nice sized bottle of wine, okay? And we just gonna talk, we gonna sip and we gonna talk today because I really want to talk about Black as Fuck. As you all know, Black as Fuck was officially came out last week, and this show is yet another written and produced show by Kenya Barris, who has also written and produced Blackish, Grownish, and the new show Mixedish. Now, I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't hate Blackish. I definitely have issues with it as far as casting and colorism, especially the colorism episode they tried to do. People say they liked it. I think it could have been better done. But overall, Blackish is really the best show out of all of the shows that he has written and produced, in my humble of an opinion. Okay? And so he has signed this deal with Netflix and has created this new show, Black as Fuck. It really is like a X-rated, R-rated version of Blackish. You know, it's a lot more vulgarity in it. And Black as Fuck is supposed to be like a mockumentary of Kenya Barris' life and family. Now, we already have Blackish, which is supposed to be a reflection of his family. So, in that type of way, it seems redundant. But again, like I said, considering the fact that this is more of a mockumentary, it seems like it's a lot more satire, comedy, and vulgarity in it. Now, and I really don't even mind the vulgarity. I just don't like how it's supposed to be a family show or alluding to that when there's so much of it and you have like the kids. Well, we ain't gonna get into that later. But I'm gonna start off by the trailer. Okay, so I actually ended up watching the trailer before I watched, like right before I ended up watching the episodes, which I got through 2 of them. Because I remember the trailer came out like weeks ago before it actually premiered, and I was just like, when I first saw it, I was like, I was planning on talking about it then, but I didn't. But I couldn't even muster up the energy to watch the trailer. But it actually turned out to be funny to me. We get to the first episode, and a lot of people were saying, well, I'm just so disappointed. And I'm just like, well, why did you even have your expectations up that high anyway? Because we've seen his work. We've seen what kind of work this man does. And it's repetitive. it's repetitive. And it is very much so inclusive towards darker skinned black women. And I just want to start off with my comments about this show. The first thing I just got to say is Kenya Barris' acting is child. I'm telling you, I see why he been behind the camera all these years. Because that acting is just, god awful. It's awful to me. It's terrible. And because I am an actress myself, Maybe that's why I think it's so bad. But I'm just like, where is the meaning in these words? I need some inflection in your voice. Can you put some motivation to this character? Like, his acting is very static. And the stuff he says is funny. But I just feel like he expects for the lines to do all the acting for him, and that's just not how it works. Sweetie, it's not how it works. So that's one of the problems I have with the show. Kenya Barris acting. Or non-acting. Alright. And now that we've gotten him out the way, let's go ahead and talk about the elephant in the room, which is Rashida Jones. Now, Rashida Jones, I'm the young age of 21, so a lot of people were saying, okay, I understand. Well, let me just say that I am at the young age of 21, so I did not know that Rashida Jones was biracial. You mean to tell me Rashida Jones is the whole daughter of the Quincy Jones? That I had no idea. I thought she was a whole white woman this whole time. Seeing her on Parks and Recreations. And I mean, she's very much so white passing. And considering that she's white passing and she's always been in these Eurocentric white shows, she's never played a role that called for her to really claim or act upon her blackness, such as Black as Fuck. And so I can see, and I'm along with them. I agree with the people's concern about how she's even able to do this. Just go full on black and, oh, I'm a black woman, I'm a black lawyer. And it's like, we have not seen that from you. So how can you do that? We haven't seen that from her. A lot of the backlash Black as Fuck is getting is one because you cannot continue to just perform blackness. It ain't performative. Blackness is not something you can just, I'm gonna wear it today, gone tomorrow. Baby, we black every day. All day. Especially if you are non-ambiguous. And so we're just tired of seeing these people who get to play both sides, who do play both sides. Like, and then go on this show that's called Black as Fuck and do this. And I really, it's not all bad. It's not all bad for Rashida Jones because I thoroughly enjoy her acting. She is funny as hell. She has great comedic timing. I think that she is the one who is carrying Kenya Barris and her character's relationship and their dynamic. She is the one who carries it because I don't know what Kenya doing. So it's not even, I love her as an actress, but I just want some more honesty when it comes to like claiming blackness. It's just a lot of privilege there when you're mixed, when you're biracial, and you're non-ambiguous at that, because not all mixed people are ambiguous. So therefore, I have to throw in when you are ambiguous, that gives you your privilege. Let me just say, I did watch The Grapevine. I love that panel talk. I did watch The Grapevine's episode of Black as Fuck, and was the backlash warranted? And how people hated it. And people were saying, okay, well, Rashida Jones, and it's always the same conversation that is brought up whenever we have these conversations about blackness and who can represent blackness. And it always the conversation of not black enough. And it's like, that's just not even what we're talking about. When we sit here and telling you that we didn't know Rashida Jones was biracial, and you just go into this whole tangent about how blackness is a range of things and yada, yada, yada. And it's like, And someone made a very good point on the grapevine about how we even see black men. I believe it was Uchichi. We see black men who now want to enter the conversation when it's time to defend a white passing woman. Oh, really? Black men, they love to enter the conversation about blackness and whatnot when it's time to defend either an ambiguous woman, a lighter skinned woman, or a biracial woman and whatnot, just to talk about how blackness is a multitude of things, and which is only because they're just trying to cover their own ass, because this is the type of woman more than likely they are trying to be with. So they want to cover that to make sure that you do understand, hey, she black too. And we're seeing this type of stuff like with Tyrese, who calling his very much so non-black ambiguous queen a black queen. So that's on that. Now, something that was also a very good point that people made, especially Donovan, who stressed this very much so, was that we are less worried about them being racially ambiguous on the show because we get it, all right? Hold on. We get it. Biracial people need their own storylines and perspectives told too. If you don't get it, I was kind of like being the emoji, the yelling emoji. Yeah, that's what I'm doing, because like every time we have this conversation, y'all want to bring that up. And Kenya Barris has had a history in all of his pieces of work: Blackish, Grownish, Mixedish, and now Black as Fuck. You mean to tell me you got 4 whole shows? And I mean, I am seriously racking my brain to think of how many dark-skinned women, how much dark-skin representation you have in any of them. Which, I mean, so far I can come up with Tika Sumpter, who is the mother married to a white man. So it's like it's still some type of whiteness in that is tied to a dark-skinned woman to make it even better, to make it better. So yeah, we have her who is married to a white man in Mixedish, as well as Ryan Destiny, who he kind of just threw her in there. He just kind of threw her in Grownish. After he must have seen y'all talking shit on Twitter. He was like, all right, let me just go ahead. And she damn near has a storyline on Grownish. And even then, I mean, she like the rebound. She's the rebound after Yara's character. So, okay, yeah, I forgot we have Diana on Blackish. But even then, we've had this conversations about how he kind of made her the evil character that the house is scared of, which is definitely implementing those negative dark skin stereotypes. He goes even as far to gaslight people, his viewers, who bring this up and make it yet another side story for light-skinned and biracial people. Like, oh, our stories need to be told too, and this is a representation of my family. It's like, dude, how many times you gonna keep making the same shows about your family? Because I believe we get it. They say repetition is the number way to learn shit, but damn, I think we got it, Kenya. We are there. And once we are able to like really be honest when having these conversations, instead of practicing intellectual dishonesty, we can get somewhere. How about that? We can actually get somewhere and progress. And not only that, but I just believe like the perspective and narrative of this show is tired. We've seen that too. Upper middle class, family, in like a wealthy neighborhood, and they're the black family, and we've seen like how white people respond to their blackness, their success. Like, you've given us that with Blackish, so why are we doing this again? And people are saying that, okay, but we need that representation. We don't have to always have downtrodden perspectives and representation. I'm like, no, but can we get something a little bit more relatable? Especially when you're going to title the show Black as Fuck. Cause really, you titling it Black as Fuck, can it like really? Can you really do this for the people? And oh my gosh, Jess Latasha also made some very good points about this, and she was just like, it's a little bit of his ego. It's his ego because he has been allowed to create all of these shows that is surrounded by him and his family. And you know, you have a lot of people who are on his side who are like really green lighting him, and it's like damn any and everybody else who has a different perspective. Which has allowed for him to get this far with this shit. And I just want to give a suggestion, because there are a plethora of black shows in the past that showed us real blackness, but still inspiring. And when we saw it, we really saw ourselves in it. It wasn't too far off. So we got like the Moesha. We got the Moesha where her stepmother, I believe she was a principal. Okay. That's decent. That's some decent money. That's some real good, decent money, okay? And you seen how her and her little black girl self in those black girl braids moving out in the world as a teenager. Like, we got that. We got That's So Raven, who her daddy was a chef. And her mama didn't have to go to work because her daddy was a chef. Okay, so we seen That's So Raven when she was living in a really good neighborhood, and we still got blackness because That's So Raven used to say some real black stuff. I mean, do y'all not remember the episode of when she had broke the lamp because she was, shaking her booty? Like, come on now. Like, That's So Raven was really black. It was a black show, and you don't have to discuss it. It doesn't have to be in your face to be black. We know it's black as fuck by the perspective, by just showing it. Just by showing how they live. That's how we know. It doesn't have to be verbal. We don't have to talk about it. 101 was black as fuck. The Parkers. I mean, you got her singing in the theme song. Dang, mama. You got her singing in the theme song, dang mama. You know that's black. And they lived in an apartment, but we didn't care nothing about that. It wasn't a downtrodden narrative or perspective because Kim was in school. So we have seen these shows where it was black, very much so black, and it didn't have to be a discussion all the time. And for Kenya to be, don't get me wrong, I really do believe Kenya is an intelligent man. So he can do better than what he been doing. That's why I'm sitting here talking about it, because I know he can do better. I really do understand that narrative of like the rich black Beverly Hills kids. That perspective has to be told too. I get it. Okay. But really the main problem, in which just Latasha said, is the name. It is the name. If the name was something different, really if the name was Meet the Barrises, we will be fine. Because we are tired of these writers, of these creators speaking for us when they say, oh, this is a movement, this is for y'all. It's us as viewers who get to make that decision. And this right here, this perspective that a lot of us can't relate to, is not black as fuck. I'm sorry, Kenya. I'm not sorry, but you know. And something that people on the grapevine brought up was, okay, well, I don't really have a problem with seeing light skin. Oh, let me just get into the grapevine because the way Jimmy showed his ass on that episode today. Because what he said was, well, I don't get triggered when I see light skinned and biracial and ambiguous people on the screen. As if he needed a damn cookie for that. But we have to stop demonizing darker skin tone people, non-ambiguous people who just y'all automatically want to assume are jealous of light skin or ambiguous people, which continues to perpetuate the negative stereotypes of colorism and that everyone aspires to look one certain type of way and are just jealous and means to all light skin, biracial, ambiguous people, which is just absolutely not the case. And so he said that he's not jealous and triggered because he has black Brits who he can look upon to for representation, such as Naomi Harris. Now, Naomi Harris, she was in Black and Blue, did a phenomenal job in that. Phenomenal actress. Cynthia Erivo, who was Harriet in the movie Harriet, and that I just have an issue with that because Cynthia Erivo has made disparaging comments about Black Americans, yet took the role of a very prominent Black American leader and ancestor for us as Black Americans. Black Americans, descendants of chattel slavery. And lastly, Daniel Kaluuya, who has made the statement that I'm tired of talking about race, discussing race, being the face of racism for Black people. Excuse me, sir? But each and every movie that you've been in that has gotten you where you are today discusses race. Get out. Get out. Very much so. Discussing race. Then not only that, Black Panther. Then we got Black Panther. Sorry. And then even Queen of Slim heavily discussed race. I mean, you had Lena Waithe talking about this is a movement for Black folks. Yeah, that was race too. And what kills me the most, which is just blowing me right now, is you took the role of Fred Hampton. And you talking about race? So I'm gonna need you to go ahead and give that role away, sir. And it really upsets me that he even got it, because why can't a Black American play a Black American, a very prominent Black American leader? Why? And this is really just a whole nother conversation about Black Brits taking roles from Black Americans. And how some Black Brits be they be a little snooty towards Black Americans. So as Black Americans, we don't want to have to look at Black Brits as our only source of representation. And going back to the Grapevine episode, because I really want to go further into, oh my gosh, I just really want to go further into Jimmy's behavior. Because he's actually like what is wrong with a lot of people in the Black community nowadays who are standing in the way of us having real conversation and making change, and are responsible for gaslighting. A lot of times with Black women as well. That's why I say he was just a representation of like why the Black community is stagnant and making progress about moving away from colorism and texturism and etc. All right. And also, I want to talk about the way Kenya. This is my commentary. So it's like, oh, does Kenya really talk to his kids like that in real life? No. Do his kids really talk to him like that in real life? Because, I mean, him calling his daughters and sons dicks. I don't know. I don't. It's very unconventional. It's very unconventional. And a lot of people have actually been saying, okay, how you gonna call this show black as fuck when your kid talking to you like that? Because in real life, my mama would have said, I'm gonna beat the brakes off you. I don't like that. Even though it's like really, whoa there. That's very much so my reaction. I just don't think it's I don't think like we have to continue with that same narrative that all black mothers or black parents are abusive. Um, Especially the saying, "Oh, you need to put fear in your children." I just hate that. Like what? What? I really hate that statement because you shouldn't want your child being afraid of you. I That's your child. Like, if anything, they really the rest of the world is gonna beat them up. You as a parent are supposed to be there to cover them. So I don't like that. So I don't agree with people saying, okay, this is not black as fuck simply because these kids not getting the brakes beaten off of them for saying the word dick. Now, I will say that is about like one of the few things I like about this show. I do like how it's very much so unconventional. Like, I'm just gonna call my daughter a dick today. I've heard worse. Especially when he goes off on his tangents. They're boring. It's boring. So, those are my thoughts about Kenya Barris and his show Black as Fuck. Oh, I also want to the Grapevine. The Grapevine, which is one of the best panel talks out there. The Grapevine, Uchichi got Jimmy all the way together. Uchichi got Jimmy. Ooh, child, she didn't collected his edges because he was dead wrong. And if you don't watch The Grapevine, if you did not watch this episode, you're not gonna know what I'm referring to. But for those who did, I suggest you click off right now and go watch that. Well, after you finish this, of course. Uchichi like really got him together because he was putting words up, through, and everywhere in that girl's mouth. And this is what I was saying when I was like, he's just kind of trying to be like a token black. And he's just way too handsome and intelligent for that. Too much of both. So what sparked that was him accusing her of Barack Obama not being fully qualified, when the point she was making was that one of the main reasons, unfortunately because of colorism, that he was able to become the actual president because of his skin tone. And if he would have been darker, because that's how we treat dark-skinned men and women. Well, really, yeah, men and women in America, he wouldn't have made it because we don't value them the same. The stereotypes are different. The narrative, the perspective is different. And I have yet to see a show that really gives us what we need for us to see that representation and be empowered. So, after seeing what that writing room looked like, yeah, it explains it. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know how you feel about this show below. Also, links to my other uploads will be in the description box. Make sure that you like and subscribe to my channel.